from the end zone
To the mosh pit.
the last house on the left. This is
Screams and schemes.
the only channel you get actively dumber by watching every single day. Today, me and my friend Kyle, we're going to break down our very first mock draft together. We're just going to do a one rounder. We're going to each go evens odds through the entire thing, where I think I'm going to start off with the odds just to start it off. We're going to use PFF today, and I'm not using the premium edition. I'm not paying $25 a month for that shit. It's a ripoff. So how this is going to work is I'm going to get the odds. He's going to get the evens. Since we're not doing trades, we don't have to worry about mixing things up that way. So to start off the video, I'm going to probably select the player that I think they need the most, not the player that I think they're going to take. What's your strategy for this video?
So, for me, I'm going to take probably what I think the team is going to do, or if I was a GM, what I would do.
Okay, so a little
So
different.
I'll take evens,
Mhm.
and I'll kind of see where it takes me. But I have a good idea for each even team what I want to do with each team.
Okay, so in my eyes, the Titans absolutely need a quarterback right now. To me, what I think they'll end up doing. Hold up. Getting a call. All right, we're back. Sorry for the interruption. So to start this off, like I was saying, I would probably take what I think they need the most, which is edge rush, because they have not had anyone other than Jeffrey Simmons produce any amount of pass rush for them, and he's a D tackle. Abdul Carter is clearly the best pure edge rusher in the class at getting to the quarterback, so I'm going to go with him leading it off.
So I think the Browns are a very fascinating pick because I can see them going to different ways. I can, because you got Myles Garrett, and if they plan on not trading Myles Garrett, obviously in this situation, Abdul Carter's gone. The best player in front of us is probably Travis Hunter. I would not disagree, but I like to throw a couple thoughts out there that I can absolutely see them taking Mason Graham.
Mm-hmm.
And I could absolutely see them, if they do decide to trade Nick Chubb, because Nick Chubb's not the same running back with his injuries that we probably think. I can absolutely see the Browns taking Ashton Jeanty if they really do feel like he is that guy, because their O line is not
Mm-hmm.
bad. They just got to stay healthy. So if you plug Ashton Jeanty there with the O line you think stays healthy with no quarterback play at all, you're going to win games. And if you're a Browns fan, you want to win games now. Ashton Jeanty would probably be your best player here, but I would lean, because I think if you're the Browns, you have to take best player available, and you're talking about top 5 pick.
Yeah,
You have
I
to take
agree.
Travis Hunter. I wish he was a receiver, in my personal opinion, but you would have the best secondary in the league with Denzel Ward and Travis Hunter.
If
So I would lock
if
up my secondary.
if the rumors are correct, Denzel Ward is going to request a trade soon. Just letting you know. Um,
So then Travis Hunter has to be the pick then if Denzel Ward's actually going to be traded. It has to be.
well,
You have to replace someone like him.
in my eyes, the way I would run Travis Hunter is play him full time at corner and give him a little bit of snaps on offense every single game, like 12 to 15 snaps as a receiver. He would be an elite receiver 3 or a very high upside receiver 2. To me, like, I think with how good of a player he is, just well-rounded player, not even at the two positions that he does. He could play safety, he could play slot receiver, he could play X receiver, he could play outside, he could play anything. The dude is so goddamn versatile that I think that any team that gets him is just automatically getting a blue chip top 5 player in the league just immediately.
I think it's I think I would agree, but you got to think if he does get hurt, let's say on offense playing him 12 to 15 snaps a game, not only do you lose that wide receiver 3, you lose the best corner in your team too. So you got to be
True.
careful the way that you use him and not overload him. I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver corner in the NFL level. I don't think his body and the
Mhm.
hits that you take in the NFL will allow you to do it. I think it was cool for college. I could be wrong. I think it was cool in college. One of the better college athletes we've ever seen. But if he wants to be a corner, I say if you're the Browns, you stick to corner. I
Okay.
think he plays corner and you see if he's the next Jalen Ramsey of the league.
So
You
you
just hope.
locking that in?
I mean, yeah. If Denzel Ward's gone and Abdul Carter's gone, you have to. You
All
have
right.
to.
Now on to your favorite team, right?
I hate the
It's your
Giants.
favorite team, right?
I can't stand them.
All
But
right.
yeah.
So I think this is one of the easiest picks in the draft if it plays out this way. In my eyes, if I'm the Titans, I'm taking quarterback. I'm taking Shador Sanders. There's a lot going on, a lot of behind the scenes talk about Brian Callahan loves Shador Sanders because of how he plays. He plays like Joe Burrow to him. The accuracy, not necessarily like, I don't even know, like his traits aren't the same. He's like, to me, he's like a good mix between Joe Burrow and Jordan Love. But I don't
Hey,
really
FanDuel said
love.
he's Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying.
I don't like that
I'm just
comparison.
saying.
It's a dog shit comparison.
Yeah,
His accuracy, his floor. So his floor is like way higher than other quarterbacks in this draft, and this is not a deep quarterback draft. We know that. So I think with the Giants, they're probably going to pick Fedor Sanders, the higher floor. It seems like Brian Daboll is trying to save his job, and what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, but I would also say if you are not in love with these quarterbacks, because you gotta be sold on them. Because if
Well,
you're not sold on them, then I don't feel like it works. So, is there a way that if they're not in love with Shador Sanders or Cam Ward, that they trade out of the pick three? Is there a way that you see Giants moving out of pick three? I don't, but I'm just asking for like a fun question.
absolutely, there is a way that they can trade out, but I think the way Brian Dable acts, he's always dapping Shador Sanders up when they see them. Like every single time they see each other, it's just like they're boys. And Shador Sanders, he doesn't raise. He has such a higher floor than Cam Ward that it's almost like you can't go wrong, especially if you're in Brian Dable's situation. And what's the best way to save your job other than just putting together a playoff team next season? To
Now,
me,
with the yeah, yeah.
it's just getting the best quarterback or the highest floor quarterback available, which means your team is immediately going to be better than if you got someone who you take a risk on like Cam Ward, who could have a much higher ceiling.
But do you think? I feel like Cam Ward would handle the New York press more than Shador Sanders.
Really?
I'm
Shador, prime
not saying
son?
that Cam Ward's not better. Yeah, because well, yeah, I think you got Prime and all of the fans and everything that he deals with now. And he's been doing a really good job. Now modify that and times that by like 300% when he goes to New York. It's going to be something crazy because New York's press and like the eyes on you is a lot, especially when you're Prime son. Like it's already bad if you're drafted there as it is because they have such high expectations that their fans do. Now imagine if you got Prime's son, like the expectations that he was going to be, like day one, got to produce. If you're in
I
New York,
don't
like Cam
I don't
Ward, I
know.
feel like he has more of a like a growing period with New York than Shador would. But I do agree, Shador is the better quarterback. I would take him if I was a Giants. But there is a, I just think that Cam Ward could handle the New York press better than Shador, and that could help Cam Ward get
Well,
picked here at three.
I think the just specifically because of their relationship already, Brian Dable and
Yeah,
Shador
yeah, yeah.
just gonna lock it in like that. Now we got the Patriots coming up.
So
Big pick.
Patriots are the most boring draft team ever.
All
So
time.
I really don't want to overcomplicate it, but I will say my pick will be Will Campbell. I'd hate it, but that's the Patriots what they'll do. But I'm not saying anything bad about Will Campbell. I definitely do think he's the best tackle in this draft because I think it's very thin. If there is going to be a Pro Bowl, All Pro kind of tackle, it will be
Mhm.
Will Campbell. And if you do have that kind of upside of a tackle, especially the way that how you saw the Eagles win a Super Bowl, you have to build your
Yeah,
team like
no, I
that.
agree. Yeah.
But I will say I think Drake May is a great quarterback, and I think he showed glimmers of hope to the Patriot fans last year.
Hmm.
And what way do you unlock his potential more than taking McMillan here? I think he is by far the best receiver in his draft class. I do like Burton, and I do like what's his name? What's his name? Why can't I think of the name now for Ohio State? What's his name?
You're talking
Uh,
about talking
the
about
wide receiver for Ohio State.
receivers?
Yeah, what's the
Emeka
receiver?
Egbuka?
Yeah, Mekabuka. I really do like him too, but I think the high up ceiling is McMillan. I'm gonna take Will Campbell because I want to be as honest as we can in this draft. So I'll lock in Will Campbell here, but
Jesus.
I want Patriots fans to know in my opinion, you are. It's a mistake to take Will Campbell, but your team will do it. Your team will do it. Will Campbell's my pick.
I mean, I will agree that the Patriots probably will take Will Campbell, and it's
a mistake, though, in my opinion.
Not because of old Patriot way, which is boring as shit, just taking trenches, but never like taking the best player available.
I agree.
I don't like the pick for Will Campbell because I don't see him as a true just bookend tackle, but I do think he can play tackle.
Wall, right? He's not Joe Wall.
No, he can play tackle, but I do see him a little bit more of an oversized guard because he has his stubby arms.
Can he be like a Mekhi Becton situation? Like they put him on where they want him to go, and he doesn't pan out, and it takes him to find another team that believes in him somewhere else to develop him, like Mekhi Becton. Could he be the Mekhi Becton in his draft? Where it took him a little bit to find the right position, because that's who I would go. Not that they're the same player. It's just I can see the same story between Will Campbell and Mekhi Becton.
Mekhi Becton never had like the arm situation. He was always like an athletic freak. He had the length. He had everything. He could move.
Did he have the I don't think he had the fundamentals though. Like that. He was
very raw talent.
Yeah,
that's why.
Very raw. Yeah.
That's why a lot of Jets fans didn't even want to take him to begin with. But I thought it was the right pick.
Yeah.
When it happened, I thought it was the right pick, and they just couldn't get it done.
He's about to get fat money on this offseason. I wish him the best.
All right, so. As a Bengals fan,
big pick here.
As a Bengals fan, I know this team and I know what they want. I know what fans want for the Jaguars.
Yep.
They want a little man, and by little I mean a 6'4", almost 6'5" man that used to play with their quarterback back in college by the name of T. Higgins. You can't have him, Jags. You just can't have him, okay? We're going to sign him. We're going to sign him to a big deal. He's going to make good money. He's not making it to free agency. Letting you know that now. But guess who you got staring at you?
Does it even matter?
Guess who you got staring at you? Number 5. That's right. You're talking about a perfect mix in my eyes of T. Higgins and Justin Jefferson. This guy is an absolute freak. Just turn on the film and be blown away. There are a lot of plays, because he played in Arizona, there are a lot of plays where he was just better than everybody else on the defense and was wide open for a streak, for a touchdown, or just nobody around him. But when you actually watch him against good competition,
he still performed at a high level.
He still performs at a high level. This dude can do it all. He is so fluid, route running. His hands are stone. He is so fucking good at football, and I would give my left nut for him.
I compare him to Puka Nacua. That's
he's very similar to Puka Nacua.
I think he's a little bit more athletic than Puka Nacua, but he's gonna have a Puka Nacua kind of year, his first year.
I agree.
So if you're a Raiders fan, you need to thank the heavens because you get Cam Ward here. I think Cam Ward is I don't know if he's going to be fantastic, but I will say that I love a quarterback that has cockiness and they believe in themselves. And there's no quarterback that I've seen in the last 3 years that had more trust in themselves and more swag to themselves than Cam Ward. He has a lot of faith in himself, and he's already saying, like, if P's that pass up on him, he's going to already write it down, and you're going to remember this. And I think, I'm not saying that's going to make him a fantastic quarterback, but you have to love hearing that. I do not see a way. I'm so confident in this pick. If Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward is here at 6, the Raiders take him. Raiders have been dying, and they've been barely 1 or 2 spots outside of taking these quarterbacks for 2 to 3 years. Raiders have been dying and itching for this. And I can see Cam Ward as a Raider in that silver and black. He would fit with the Raiders. I think they need some weapons, but you got an underrated weapon there. And, Myers, and he got Brock Bowers. I think Cam Ward and Brock Bowers would be very good. I can see Cam Ward being better Shedeur. I wouldn't bet on it, but he might be a tad lower. I can see Cam Ward and Shedeur putting up some numbers this year if they go to the right teams and teams that believe in them. Easy pick, easiest pick so far in the top 5. It's definitely Cam Ward here, 100%.
No, I agree. It's got to be Cam Ward if he's staring you in the face.
Got to be.
There's a lot of people out there thinking, Chip Kelly is going to want his college quarterback, which is Will Howard. So I see a lot of people
You can't take
fitting.
Will Howard 6. You can't.
Oh, of course not. No, no.
But you're
I see a
but
lot of people taking like
yeah.
Ashton Genty to them and then worrying about it
With no
later
O
for
line,
quarterback.
Cam
Yeah.
Ward can run. He's mobile. Like that. So if they have a weaker O line, Cam Ward is a better fit for you. Like Cam Ward can run to him. I compare, maybe this is a bad analysis, but like terms of like how big and how tough they can when they get hit. I think he's got the Joe Burrow toughness in terms of he can get hit, get back up, and keep taking a beating, a beating, a beating. And Raiders need help on the line, and Cam Ward, in terms of that, you need that kind of Joe Burrow to get in there after getting hit, go back in there and make the best decisions. You can't miss him because if Cam Ward is what people think he can be, he could be the next Jane Daniels,
Yeah,
and you can't pass on that. You can't pass on it. You
I
have to take the
uh
chance.
I uh I just don't love Cam Ward. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest.
He's
I
raw.
don't love Cam Ward. He he reminds me a lot of Josh Allen in his early career, playing hero ball a lot. I don't think he has
He's better coming out of
faced.
college than Josh Allen by 1,000%.
Sure, I mean Josh Allen was
Better
also
arm.
a no star prospect coming out of high
Yeah.
school, but it doesn't matter. I just think he plays a little too much hero ball sometimes, and he puts the ball in harm's way way too much. That's why I like
Don't you think
Shador
Chip Kelly can
Sanders.
develop him though? Like, do you believe that Chip Kelly can calm him down? I can't stand him, Chip Kelly.
Hopefully, Tom
So
Brady can
no,
talk to him.
I don't believe in him. But that's you made a good point right there. I think Tom Brady can work his magic with Cam Ward, and if he does, and if he can bring that out of Cam Ward's the best quarterback in this draft.
All
The
right,
hero
well,
ball is why I think Shador Sanders is better.
all right. So moving on to the Jets. This video is going to be so long. Um, so to me, a lot of people just chalk Mason Graham. They need a little bit of help on the interior. To me, it's not that simple. To
Nope.
me, what did they get from the Eagles last year, Kyle?
They got Hassan Reddick, and he didn't barely play.
Hassan Reddick. Who have they taken in the first round not too long ago?
They
Was it
took Will McDonald. Is that his
Will
name? Will
McDonald?
McDonald
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Iowa State.
Who else?
Yeah, to remind me, who is it?
Pretty sure it was Johnson from Iowa State. One sec.
So they took two Iowa State players. I only thought it was Will McDonald.
Hold on. Will McDonald. Who was the swear to God, they took another edge rusher not too long
They
ago.
probably did.
Either way, Will McDonald has not developed into what they thought he was going to. So to me, that doesn't mean you stop swinging at the position. To me, if you have a guy that we literally just watched run his 40 times at the combine, we watched the edge rushers run his 40 time, and he had the fastest 40 time. He ran a 4.47 in a second run. The dude is an athletic freak. People have concern about his size. I don't. I think James Pierce Jr. is going to be a freak in the NFL. And I don't see anybody taking him this early, and I don't understand it. The dude is phenomenal at football. Go watch his film, and for his size, he looks a little undersized. Absolutely. On film, he looks a little undersized, but he's still running people over. He's still faster, more athletic than almost all of the people he's going up against, including big time competition like Alabama. He and Austin Booker had a lot of not Austin Booker, Tyler Booker had a lot of legendary battles when they played against each other. I think James Pierce Jr. would be a great pick for the Jets. I don't see anybody taking him.
Deal. I really don't take a draft board serious if he's not at least a top 10 player on our draft board. I can't take him serious.
Yeah, absolutely not.
He's that dominant. Like, I understand that, I'm a Penn State fan. I'll always stick up Abdul's the best. But if Abdul is not the best edge rusher, defensive player in this draft, it's definitely James. And I think I love Abdul. I think he could be better than Micah, but I definitely think there's an argument that James could be a better NFL player than Abdul. I absolutely can hear somebody say that and make a bold prediction saying James can be a better NFL player than Abdul Carter. I don't agree, but I can absolutely hear the argument.
100%. I agree.
The Panthers. So I'm a Bryce Young fan, and I think
Of course.
Bryce Young is fantastic. I just think Carolina's dog shit. I think it's time that we change that narrative that Carolina's dog shit. So I think everybody's seeing here. I think everybody's seeing here, like, if you don't pick Mason Graham here, you're silly.
Oh yeah, of course.
You're not wrong for saying that, but this is where I'm gonna be, I guess, a little crazy. You guys call me crazy, that's fine. But this is where I take Luther Burden, because the reason why I'm taking Luther Burden is because before the season, well, I should say before the season, he has a lot of upside. A lot of people have a lot of hope in him. And there are some people out there that think he could be the best receiver in this draft. I think he's the second best receiver in this draft. He plays in my opinion, one of the hardest conferences. He plays against some of the best corners. He's a very good route runner. He's physical. He's very good. I like his tape. Had a little bit of a down year, what we liked.
Yeah.
But I think somebody from the Panthers, you are desperate. Who's your best receiver? You just took what's his name?
Thielen.
You got Adam Thielen that had a really good year. And you got the guy that you took for South Carolina last year. Why can't I think of his name? What's his name, Colton? He talks like this. What's his name?
Xavier Legette.
Xavier Legette. But the problem I have with Xavier Legette, he's not a number one. I just don't believe he's number one. I didn't necessarily believe he was a number one last year.
He's got the frame.
He's got the frame, but I think if you pair Luther Burden, which is the opposite receiver to Legette.
Well, first of all, that's what they're missing. Is another receiver. So you got the slot receiver in Adam Thielen.
Thielen.
And then Xavier Legette on the outside.
Put Xavier Legette. You have a very good 1-2-3 punch.
Not bad.
I see, I think that they're the pan. I think most people are going to say, you have to take Mason Graham. I think there's a team that's coming up that is going to lick their chops of taking him.
Well, I'm not trying to force anybody down the list right now. So.
I'm not either. And Mason Graham deserves to already be taken. Like Raiders could have taken him, Jacksonville. I don't necessarily want to be chalky, but I think I can absolutely see all these players that we taken be drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Luther Burden because I think it's about time that we start caring for our future quarterback, and you got to have weapons in this league.
I mean, to me, that is not the worst pick ever. I do like the fact that I felt like Bryce Young for a lot of the last 2 years has just needed somebody to dump the ball off.
Yep. And
he extends plays really well because he has to. He's, you know how I feel about how short he is. He has to extend plays. He just needs somebody that can take the ball from 4 or 5 yards out and pick up a first down. Luther Burden's that guy.
Johnson too. I'm going to keep that in mind because they also got J.C. Horn, and they can also, they're in the same argument as I have with the what team would I talk about? Who's up there that I said they got the best secondary if they take him? Oh, Browns. If Denzel Ward stays and you put Travis Hunter, you're having one of the best secondaries in the league. Panthers are the same boat. J.C. Horns was a Pro Bowler this year. He was the only thing good for the defense this year, really. So you can easily take Will Johnson if you believe that he's going to stay healthy and pair them two up. And I'm not. If you take Will Johnson here, you're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong to take a Luther Burden. Obviously, I think majority of people would take Mason Graham here. But I think these quarterbacks are the most important thing in the sport and in NFL, and Bryce Young showed a glimmer of hope. Watch the Eagles tape. Watch when they played the Eagles. They should have beaten the Eagles, right? If Xavier Legette didn't drop the pass, they would have beat the Eagles. And it's because Bryce Young played. His stats won't blow you away, but he definitely showed hope that he could be somebody, and you've got to get some weapons for him.
This is hard for me here.
It's very hard here
because the Saints need a lot. They need so much.
Yes.
And you have Ashton Jeanty staring you in the face. You have Mason Graham staring you in the face.
But they extended Alvin Kamara for 3 years. Remember that.
2 years. It was a 2-year extension.
Okay.
They traded away their best corner. Their best linebacker is 35 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you name me
is it Mario Davis? No, I can't.
Yeah.
What's his name? Not Mario Davis. Line. Demario Davis, sorry. Yeah, Demario Davis. Demario Davis is 35 years old. And not only is Cam Jordan 30-something years old as well, they are so old on that team that I think right now they could use a player that can do a bit of both. And one player that's got elite upside at just being a linebacker, a middle linebacker in general, is Jihad Campbell.
Yes.
This guy's a beast. And not only that, the dude has extreme pass rushing upside. And I think that they could absolutely use that. But since we forced Mason Graham down the line for some reason, they also could use defensive interior. So this is a really rough situation.
So, we did force basic grab down the line, and it probably won't happen at 9. I'm gonna be honest, but if you look at our first 8 picks, do you see something out of ordinary where you're like, no, I can only, I just
The only one that I see that isn't really chalk
Jax.
from is the Jets. Yeah, is
Okay.
taking James Pierce Jr. That everyone has Mason Graham going there. Like that's the stopgap. It's either the Jags, the Giants, or the Jets. That's where I see him going.
Maybe Carolina at this instance if I didn't get a
Yeah.
little bold and take Luther Burden.
But the way I see it is you can't go wrong with Mason Graham
Nope,
at
can't.
9 to the Saints.
By the way, that'd be the biggest deal in the draft right there at 9.
Yeah, that would be insane.
That would be the biggest deal.
I don't
Saints would
see
win
it
the first
happening,
round.
but crazier things have happened.
Yeah, but Saints will win the first round of round 1 if they got Mason Graham at 9.
Now we got the
with their
Bears
cap
up.
hit. So
Are you gonna do it or not?
So I think you got what's the backup running back for the Bears that they like? What's his name?
So they traded what's his name?
Traded Herbert to you guys.
Khalil Herbert, and then
yeah, but they also have somebody else that people were taking in fantasy football that was really good too. He's young. What's his name? Something Johnson, I think. I can't remember. You paid Sweat too much money, right? And Sweat had a decent year.
Swift.
And
DeAndre Swift.
Swift, I'm sorry. Swift had a good year. And
still got 2 years left on his deal.
I think exactly. I think if you're the Bears, you got to worry about Keenan Allen leaving. You got to replace him. I don't think that's that big of a loss, but you could replace him here.
Roshan Johnson.
If he doesn't decide, yeah. To me, you got a good number. You got a good 2-punch. Yes, you could take Ashton Genty, and I would not hate the pick. But to me, Bears need more O-line help. Bad. Not a lot of O-line help here, right? I would build that D-line.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that D-line needs it. And I think with that division, how tough it is, you got to get to that quarterback. You got to get to Jared Goff. You got to get to either Sam Darnold or J.J. McCarthy next year. And you got to get to Jordan Love because Jordan Love can kill you. To me, I would take – there's 2 players here you could take. You could take the corner out of Texas because that ain't going to hurt you. You could take the corner out of Michigan. I guess there's 3 players. Ain't going to hurt you. I would take Mike Green, edge rusher. I do know he has some off-the-field issues.
I'm going to look
I do know that – I don't know what college he went to, but I know he could basically, like the Randy Moss situation, he got demoted to Marshall because
Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he has some off-the-field issues. So don't be deceived because you see Marshall. He is better than Marshall talent. He is
sexual assault
good.
Allegations.
Yes. So this depends if his sexual allegations come back not to be true or something the Bears could live with or not or can move on from. But if everything works out, Mike Green has the biggest upside here out of everyone. Mm-hmm. Mike Green. And I think you have to go D-line here. If you're not taking offensive line for Caleb Williams, you got to build the other side. And the Bears love their defense. I think Mike Green fits into Chicago perfectly.
All right, so if I'm not mistaken, the 49ers gave Charvarius Ward permission to seek a trade, if I am not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Deebo Samuel is requested getting permission to leave too. So just keep that in mind. Deebo will not be on the San Francisco 49ers next year. And their wide receiver 1 is hurt, and we don't know if he's going to come back the same. Just keep that in mind.
Making sure. So, no, Charvarius Ward is going to become a free agent, possibly. So, this is pretty chalk. You got to replace your outside corner, and there's not a better corner in the class. There's not a better corner in the class. Jahdae Barron is going to be a great slot corner. He's not going to be playing outside.
As much as I can't stand this team, and I hope they don't draft him, it's because I want to be able to root for Ashton and I can't root for Ashton if he goes to the Cowboys. I refuse. But if the Dallas Cowboys are at 12 and they don't take Ashton Genty, it's one reason only is because they have no line to speak of.
Bro, like why does he keep just slipping to the Cowboys, man?
It has to. If you're Dallas, you get Dak back healthy. If you're not going to have a good O-line, you're going to have somebody next to Dak that's an athletic freak that you can check screens to, and make Dak better. This looks like Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott all over again. But
I mean,
Ashton Genty's a little bit more athletic
I
than
can
Zeke
disagree.
and probably will be better than Zeke. And this is what Dallas loves. Ashton Genty will go to the Dallas Cowboys, and that's almost, I would say that's the most locked pick to me out of this whole draft. I just see him in a Dallas Cowboy uniform.
100%. All right, so now we got the Dolphins at 13. So I think we're going to pick up our pace a little bit. This video is going to be very long already. So the Dolphins, I mean, to me, they got to take offensive line. But I know the Dolphins pick, and I know what Dolphins fans think. They don't think that they're going to take offensive line, and I'm not one to sit here and tell you you're wrong. You know your team better than I do, but based off of the trends, they have not taken first-round tackle a whole lot. And they're not going to start now. They're going to go defense, and they need a little bit of help on edge rush. Who was it? Bradley Chubb isn't the same player as he used to be. He's got a lot of
Chop
injuries.
Robinson had a good year.
Chop Robinson was pretty good last year, developing. So they've had that issue.
Jalen Ramsey didn't play at a high level, but you don't have, you don't have that corner two over there anymore.
A lot they could be doing, but I think it's probably going to be safety. I really think that they're going to take a safety.
Okay. Well, there's only one safety here.
Malachi Starks, probably the best safety in the class. A lot of people think that Jahdae Barron could actually switch to safety. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I think he's definitely a corner. Malachi he's got good size, got a nice frame. He has good feet, good footwork. I'm gonna go ahead and take Malachi Starks to them. Might be a little too early. Dolphins fans, talk to me in the chat. Talk to me in the comments. Flame me if you want. I don't care. You know what? All of these teams. If one of your team gets a pick you don't like, comment down below and we'll talk about it.
This is another. So I would like to say Colts are going to be one of the most interesting draft teams because I don't think the Colts are necessarily going to pick at 14. But I think if the Colts do pick at 14, it's one player and it's one player only. Tyler Warren. Yeah, they have to give AR checkdowns because that's how he's going to develop. And what better than Tyler Warren? And I don't think it's close. He's by unanimous decision, in my opinion, the best tight end in this draft. So easy.
It's a little rich. I like Tyler Warren. He's a perfect fit for the Colts. He's a perfect fit for a lot of teams.
Shane Steichen loves doing them screens to tight ends too, and
he can block his ass off. He's got good hands.
This seems like a Shane Steichen
athletic
draft.
upside. Shane Steichen would love him.
Yep.
All right, so we got the Falcons, brother.
Are they gonna do it?
I don't think they are, but they fucking better. I've been every single year taking edge rush, and they just keep effing it up. I'm gonna do it one more time here.
You gotta do it one more time.
One more time, taking Jihad Campbell to them.
So Cardinals, we can agree they don't need a wide receiver. I like Wilson. I like Marvin Harrison Jr. And you got a great tight end. To me, you got the best tight end in next year, other than maybe the guy from, he's top 3. Let's say that. I don't want to get rich.
Trey's a beast, yeah.
So your defense, you have, other than Budda Baker, you have nobody that anybody knows on defense, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But your defense is not very good, and I think that you guys could have maybe been a fringe playoff team if you guys had a decent defense. You guys felt like you guys were okay on offense a lot of times. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys comment down below, say if I'm wrong. I think it has to be defense, and I can't name you guys a corner on your team. I'm sorry. Maybe I just know Budda Baker in the secondary.
Maybe when you do a little more research.
Maybe you got to get Barron from Texas. I think you need a corner. Your secondary wasn't very good, and Buda's definitely getting older, but he's still got a lot of years left on him. I think he needs help in the secondary, and I would take Barron or edge rush, but I would take the only, I think, really elite corner, I guess you want to say. I wouldn't say he's Will Johnson elite, but the next step, a little step down. And Barron has the pick. I think at pick 16, I think this is your best pick here.
They were the team that took Max Melton last year. Guy that I was looking at for the Bengals. So Jahdae Barron.
I like that pick for the Cardinals.
And my Cincinnati Bengals, man, this season was a letdown. And as you can tell, I'm a Bengals fan. He's an Eagles fan, right? We have had this saying for 3 years now, basically since we met. Eagles Bengals Super Bowl every single year. And 2021, the Bengals made the Super Bowl. The Eagles made the playoffs. Got bounced by the Bucks first round, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's correct.
Bengals made the Super Bowl. We lost. Following year, 2022, Bengals make the AFC Championship game. Eagles make the Super Bowl. We lose. Eagles go and lose to the Chiefs. 2023 comes around. Bengals don't even make the playoffs. Eagles don't. Collapse. You guys collapse to the Bucks again, first round. This year was the year that it was supposed to happen. From the moment the season started, I predicted Jamar Chase was going to lead receivers. Did not predict Triple Crown, but I thought it was realistic to happen. I thought Joe Burrow was going to lead all of quarterbacks, get the MVP, be first team All-Pro, all of that. Thought he was going to throw for 5,000 yards. I thought T. Higgins was going to show the Bengals why he deserves a contract, and he did. He did show them why. All of this stuff basically came true. Joe Burrow was top 4 for MVP voting. He should have been, at the very least, second team All-Pro. Ridiculous that he didn't get it. You're telling me he had 49 total touchdowns, or 4,900 yards, like, was it 46 total touchdowns, 44 throwing touchdowns? And he led all quarterbacks by at least 300, 400 yards passing. I think Baker was number 2. And then we don't even make the playoffs again. Eagles made the Super Bowl, and suddenly all Bengals fans became Eagles fans because they crushed the fucking Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs.
Exactly.
All of this is leading to say we had Trey Hendrickson leading the league in sacks, 17 and a half sacks, second place in DPOY, which in my eyes, how do you not give him DPOY? I know I'm biased, but how do you not give him DPOY? Of course. This is all leading up for me saying we need help with edge rush, we need help with corner, we need safety help, we need, if T. Higgins walks, we need another wide receiver, we need guard help, we need all of this help. Defensive interior is a big one, that's probably my number 2. So to me, it's down to Walter Nolan and Michael Williams. And I don't think Trey Hendrickson can get it all done by himself. And I think Chris Jenkins last year and McKinley Jackson both showed some upside. So if we can get our DC, Al Golden, to develop these guys properly, we got 2 pretty good D tackles. But Sam Hubbard's going to be gone. I don't think we're going to be signing Joseph Osai. So I'm taking Michael Williams. Bengals fans, let me know if you like that pick or not, because I love the pick. I really do.
I think Seattle is in the same boat you guys are.
They need edge.
They need edge. They need more pressure. I'm looking at a guy that is the Chop Robinson of the draft. I'm saying a guy 18 that you could take at 18, has a lot of upside. He's got a perfect build. I think he fits well with Seattle. You don't need wide receivers. I've been preaching, and I'm going to stand on it right here in this video. Jack Smith-Njigba is their number 1, and I love Jack Smith-Njigba. He's just nothing but he's just fantastic. And then you got DK Metcalf, and you also got Tyler Lockett that's still playing at a very good level. And you just need your running back Walker to stay healthy. You could draft O-line here, and I'm looking at the guy from Ohio State. What's his name? Stewart? Is that his name? Stewart? Is that his name?
No, you're talking about Josh Simmons?
Simmons. So to me, it's either Simmons.
He got hurt this year too against Oregon.
So it's either Josh Simmons or I'm taking edge. And I lean Stewart for Texas A&M. I would go edge here because I think you guys need to get to the quarterback more, especially in your division. So I don't
see a problem with that. I really don't. I think he's a little raw, but I think there are certain players that you could probably just say attack the quarterback, and he'll go and find a way to get it.
Exactly, and that's what they need, in my opinion.
Buccaneers. From what I'm hearing, the Buccaneers actually like Mike Green, and we already took Mike Green fairly early at 10. There's a lot of people pushing him down, but I think he's a top 15 pick. I really do. I think they need help at linebacker. I think they need help at edge. Just simply
they need help
edge.
At receiver if Godwin leaves. I do think
Godwin is a free agent, I believe. So he could be leaving.
If they don't sign him, then I think a wide receiver here needs to be a thought.
Matthew Golden is definitely a thought here. I've had, like, in previous mock drafts, I thought about him. I've never thought about Emeka Egbuka to them, and I don't know why.
I have. Yeah, I have a lot.
I
Baker
don't
would love Emeka Egbuka.
I think he would get open for him a lot, but to me, I think I don't think he can pass up on Walter Nolan here. Even though that's not one of their worst needs ever, sometimes you just have to go best player available.
Yep, I agree. I think Kenneth Grant's better, but yes.
I don't think Kenneth Grant's better than Walter Nolan. Walter Nolan showed up and showed out this season. Dude's a monster. And he's only gotten better every single year. Go watch all of his films from his freshman year to now. He has only gotten consistently better every single year. So now we're at the Broncos.
So sorry, Steelers fans. I'm not sorry. Broncos are taking Emeka Ibuka here, and I'm sorry. I know that breaks your guys' heart, because that's what they need. Their defense is good. They could absolutely shore up their defense a little bit more in the second, third round because they're fantastic drafting defense. Their O-line, I would say, is not like greatest in the league, but I felt like when I watched Denver, they were pretty consistent.
Denver was the one or two best offensive line in the league, I believe.
Yeah, and then you got Bo Nix, and I'm a huge fan. I think Bo Nix. I was not the hugest fan. He came out of draft. I thought he was. I didn't think he'd be that. But when you have a good coach that believes in you and builds a system around you, any quarterback can thrive if you have that kind of belief system in the organization. And he proved that. And I think they just need weapons for him. And if he gets weapons, Broncos can dethrone the Chiefs in that division. And I think the Broncos are like this close of dethroning the Chiefs in that division. If you get Emeka Ibuka, I think they could keep up the Chiefs in scoring. I would still bet on the Chiefs, but Broncos are that team in that division. And in the AFC, they're the next rising team that people need to start fearing. And I like Emeka Ibuka with the Denver Broncos.
According to, was it Ian Rappaport? Hold on. Somebody just tweeted out that Myles Garrett is not open to a contract extension with the Browns.
I saw that. I read that earlier. I just thought you knew.
No. All right, so
do you like that pick with Denver? I think that's the only pick you could do here, right? Because
this
would be Luton Burton probably to most people here, right?
To me, I do like Emeka Ibuka here, but I probably would prefer tight end. Wilson Loveland here fits really, really well for what they would probably want to do there.
Maybe.
And Sean Payton loves his tight ends.
Yeah.
But he did more often than not have a Tyler Warren type of tight end, but I think Wilson Loveland would just give Bo Nix just that big body target.
Do you think that's more production for them than Emeka Ibuka will be for Bo Nix? Because I think it's an argument. Because I think Emeka Ibuka is the best route runner in this draft.
I don't think they can go wrong with that.
Okay.
With the Steelers, though, you can go wrong with a pick. Yeah, my absolute favorite team. So let's see. Najee's walking. They did not pick up his.
That's crazy to me, though.
His fifth-year option. Najee's going to be gone unless they decide to franchise tag him. I don't know why they would. Should have just picked up his fifth-year option at that point. Marion Hampton's on the board here. Ray Zabel, a guy that has been just skyrocketing up draft boards recently because of his performance at the Senior Bowl.
North Dakota State, man.
Again, another guy that probably will play like an oversized guard role. I don't know if he's a pure tackle. I don't see them taking him. And Kenneth Grant is sitting here staring you in the face as a Steelers fan. I would be pounding my fucking coffee table for my team to take Kenneth Grant if he slips this far. I'm going to go ahead and take him here for you guys. As much as I love you guys. All right, we got the Chargers up. They could go so many routes.
I think Chargers O-line is fine as long as they stay healthy.
Absolutely.
I don't think you need to spend a first-round pick on their O-line, even though Josh Simmons is, in my opinion, probably the easiest pick, the most chalkiest pick to pick here. I like either a wide receiver because they have no wide receiver, and I like a running back here. I think if you're looking at this board, and let's say this board is true, and you're a Chargers, you have to make a decision. If you don't take the Texas wide receiver here, then I feel like the wide receivers are going way down here.
Absolutely.
He's the last one that can be better in all of them. So, but I also think, hot take, Marion Hampton is the best running back in this class. But they did just take Blake Corum, and I think they could see that out. And they also got
Blake Corum?
No, Blake Corum's with the Rams. I'm sorry.
He's with the Rams, yeah.
They got Gus Johnson. They got Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Not had J.K. only
Dobbins.
signed a 1 year deal, so he had a 2 year deal.
He had it was the last year of his deal with the Ravens. They do have to sign him or franchise tag him.
I think Matthew Golden has to be the pick here. If you're them.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I think it's either him or again Colson Loveland, which keeps slipping down the board. I just want to remind you, Colson Loveland's down there. Where's he at? There's he is probably more valuable than a lot of these receivers. He's way more valuable than a lot of these receivers.
Yeah, but they don't have a receiver. I mean, they have Ladd McConkey, and I love Ladd McConkey, but I think Ladd McConkey needs help.
Yeah. And to me, this is chalk. This is absolute chalk. They got to go tackle.
Yeah, absolutely.
They absolutely have to keep Jordan Love upright. They have to go tackle. And Josh Simmons, yes, he had a little bit of an injury issue and missed most of the season after the Oregon game. But the dude is a baller. He was by far the highest graded tackle going at the beginning of the year. The dude was stout until he got hurt.
Yep.
And I think he can be something special in the NFL. Now we're on to the Vikings.
I think this is maybe I'm weird. I'm pretty sure Aaron Jones only had a 1 year deal, or is he a 2 year deal?
I do believe it was a 1 year deal.
So Aaron Jones is a free agent. I believe you can either sign him back or you could take somebody that I believe can fill his role right away. I would take Amari and Hampton here. I think that's because they got J.J. McCarthy. I think they're going to roll with him. Maybe they sign Sam Darnold, but either way, you got your quarterback.
Maybe franchise tag Sam Darnold.
You got weapons. Like you got wide receivers. I can see a tackle here. Let me get that. I can see like a guard. But I think Vikings have a good defense. I don't know what you would take in the first round of defense. Your defense was great last year. You need a running back. Your running back's what's missing on your team. Amari Hampton.
So I'm gonna stand up here because I think the Texans need tackle help. Right?
Yeah.
What's his name? Their left tackle, Bong Boy.
Name. He's been in the league forever too. Shoot.
He was the only good part about their O-line last year.
Yeah,
I think they absolutely need tackle. And I don't think Kelvin Banks is it. I think Armand Membu might be the best left tackle here. Not left as in left side, the best tackle that's left. But he's a little undersized. A lot of teams might see him as a guard. I think he could play tackle. Laramie Tunsil, yes. I think Armand Membu goes to the Texans here, and I think Texans fans are going to hate me for this. I really do. Because they probably want a weapon that can stay healthy for CJ Stroud. But to me, he's got enough weapons. Let's keep him upright. I'm an Ohio State fan. Like, I saw what he can do when he had time in the pocket. The dude is a baller. Let's keep him upright.
Look good as long as he can stay upright.
Even if Armand Membu doesn't work out as your tackle of the future, he can move inside for guard. He's got versatility. He's a little undersized for tackle, but yes, he could move inside for guard. Now, on to the Rams, which very interesting stuff coming out with the Rams. Have you heard about this stuff?
I mean, Matt Stafford could be gone.
Be gone.
Cooper Kupp could be gone, and I think it's going to be a package deal. Now, if we had PFF Plus, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I would have already traded with the Steelers.
There would have been a few trades here in my eyes.
I would have already traded with the Steelers. If the Steelers are the most realistic team to get Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, I would send George Pickens and a picks, I should say, to go get Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, because I think me and him's debated about this all the time. I don't believe the hype of George Pickens. He has raw talent. I think he's a diva. I don't believe in him. I'm done believing in him. I think Cooper Kupp for the next 2 years is better than George Pickens, and Matt Stafford is better than even if you keep Justin Fields. And I'm a believer in Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is not going to hit Matt Stafford potential to me. I just don't see that.
No.
Matt Stafford, I get the age. If you're a Steelers fan, you're like, well, dude, he's a little old, man. It's like, but he's got 2 or 3 years.
He's still balling. At a high level. He is still balling.
And could you guys, with your defense, if they stay healthy and maybe we'll draft a weapon or two, could you guys make a run for the next 3 years with him? I don't see why not. So if I'm Matt Stafford, I want to stay in LA. That's my best chance. Or I want to go to the Steel City. So obviously we're not doing trades. I think it has to be tackle here. You got to keep Matt Stafford healthy. You got to keep him up. I think Banks Jr. is the best pick here. I would. Jordan Loveland's there. I mean, Loveland's there,
Don't worry about Josh Connerly down here too.
and I think yeah, and I agree. But I think Banks is who I'm going to go with here. I like that pick for them. Or you can go corner. I just think like is Trey like worth it here over Banks? I don't think so. So Banks makes a lot of sense. It's pretty chalk to me unless you take a tight end. It's pretty chalk.
All right, so a lot of people are probably staring at this board thinking, "What are we doing? Like, what the hell are we doing?" To me, I don't think this has been a bad draft at all. There's a lot of players on the board that people have going way higher than I think they should. Jalen Walker. I'm not saying I'm a draft guru. Jalen Walker on a lot of people's boards is just flying up the board because he has edge rush upside, and his ability as a Mike linebacker is probably the best in the class. I think he's pure linebacker. I'm gonna be honest. I think he's pure linebacker, and I don't think the Ravens need him. Player like Derek Harmon, again, guy that keeps falling down people's draft boards, even in mine.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones? Well, I don't buy into a lot of those comparisons. I think what the Ravens need more than anything is an actual pure edge rusher. They've needed one for a while. They've actually needed one for a very long time because they usually, like with McDonald as their former DC, he would use a lot of linebackers to rush the edge, like Roquan Smith rushing the edge, and they use a lot of interior pressure to get to the quarterback. I think if they had outside pressure like they should have as the Ravens, they would have probably beaten the Bills this year in the playoffs. And I think Nick Scorton should be the pick. He had a down year this year, but you go look at his tape with Purdue, the dude was a monster. Put on a little bit of weight this year. I know that. But I think the Ravens organization, more than anyone, could get this guy right. So I'm going to go with Nick Scorton. Lions.
And it has to be edge rush. It has to be.
You think so?
I do, because if you're not going to get a Myles Garrett or anybody crazy in the free agency, then I see a pure edge rusher. Now, that being said, they're all pretty much...
This edge class is deep, brother.
Now, I have a lot of people don't see it, but I don't get it, because this guy's performance, even at the biggest moments in college football last year, was some of the clutchest moments I've seen, and we saw he can win one-on-one matchups, and he's a force to be reckoned with. And I think if you put this player with Aiden Hutchinson, and Aiden Hutchinson can really help him. I see Jack Sawyer being taken here.
Really?
I like Jack Sawyer. I like Jack Sawyer being here at the Lions. I don't understand why I'm seeing a 44 here. I guess people don't watch playoff football when it matters the most against the best talent in college football. The man couldn't be stopped. You could double him. You could try. He was the best defensive player, even over Caleb Downs at some points of the last season. He's a dog. He cares. He's a leader. He's tough as shit. He's got some quickness to him. He's strong as hell. There's not 10 other guys I'm taking over Jack Sawyer, and the guys that I would, they're gone. Yeah. I would take Jack Sawyer. And if you're Lions, you're like, you need somebody who has raw potential and unlock them, and Jack Sawyer's the guy for me. Okay. I could have seen him in the Lions uniform too.
So you want to talk about a trade team? Like, to me, Commanders could absolutely trade away this pick for someone like, honestly, if they come to us for Trey Hendrickson, give us your first round pick. I know a lot of people think it's probably rich, but it's a back end first round pick. Basically a second. Trey's got at least 3 or 4 years left to be, he's been elite the last 4. So, they are a perfect trade candidate. But we're sticking and picking here, and their secondary sucked. They didn't have great pressure on the edge. Honestly, they didn't get great pressure out of Jonathan Allen and who else? Who was it? Payne?
Yeah. But Payne was out a lot of years. Payne was out a lot last year, though.
To me, I think they need help in a lot of areas. They definitely need help, considering that they took a first-round cornerback last year in Emmanuel Forbes, number 16 overall, if I'm not mistaken, and they've already cut him. I don't even know why they cut him. Is it because they couldn't develop him? He's a little undersized. He's skinny. A light breeze would knock him down. But the dude could scrap. He played way bigger than he actually was, and they just cut him. I know he was getting burnt a lot. These are just long-winded ways of me to say that they're going cornerback. And Trey Amos here, I wouldn't say he's a steal. I'd say it probably fits perfectly. You know what? There's another player. Benjamin Morrison. What happened?
Wrap on.
I know he got hurt. I know he got hurt this year and missed most of the season.
Yeah.
But what happened? This dude was top of the league for most people, aside from Will Johnson coming into the year. Are we just saying?
I still think he can be, but I think injury knocks him down.
I think he's better than Trey Amos.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think he gets drafted over Trey Amos though this year.
But realistically, I'm going Trey Amos.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't agree with me here, but I mean, we could talk about it in the comments if you want. I love to debate people about it.
Didn't they get rid of that one? Yeah, that's what you're talking about, right? The one
Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah, you have to replace him.
100%.
They get torched. Their secondary is abysmal.
Emmanuel Forbes was a guy I wanted the Bengals to take last year.
Yeah, I still would like to have him.
And then Amarius Mims did what Amarius Mims did, and I'm like, all right, never mind. I want to change our pick for the world.
Yeah.
All right, we got the Bills up.
So, I think with the last three teams, I think these teams, they have it loaded. They're going for what they absolutely direly need or upside potential. So, can you go to wide receiver for me so I can just see something real quick? I'm just going to look. So, he's not even on this list. The guy from Ole Miss. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's not even.
Let's go. I think it has. It's got to be D-line, right? Is it D-line for them?
For them, I don't know, dude.
I mean, I would say if you're looking at this board, if you're a Bills fan and you're a Bills organization, you have to take Derek. You have to. He's probably the best player here in terms of D-line left.
They were very soft against the run last year. Very soft.
Yeah, I mean, he's projected in the top 20 pick, maybe 25 range. You're sitting here at 30, and you're like, he's still on the board. It's probably a steal, and I think you would just go chalk here.
All right, so Chiefs are up. I'm just going to give them probably Ty Kroger, punter out of South Carolina. That's okay with you? Yeah, all right, cool. No, jokes aside, I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs. I hope you guys are the worst franchise in history for the next 15 years. Yeah. Anyway, they just informed Trey Smith that they were going to franchise tag him. So they have arguably the best guard in football locked up for another year until they can get a deal done with him. They don't like signing their offensive linemen for some reason. They were really struggling this year. What happened last time? The Chiefs got embarrassed in the Super Bowl.
They made a lot of trades.
They did a lot.
They did a lot of moves.
And they retooled and recalled that entire offensive line. And it's no different this year. They're going to take the best tackle available at Josh Connerly. Simple as that.
So this is my dream if I'm an Eagles fan. I want Jalen Walker bad.
Really?
We need an edge.
Even if you sign Zach Bond? He's not edge, brother. He is.
No, he's not really edge, but he can. But I think there's tools there. I think he can get to the quarterback, and I think that's. Yes, I think. But I think I see a lot of mocks taking us taking him, and I think the reason is number one is Georgia. Number two. I think he can get to the quarter. I think he can get to the quarterback, and the Eagles need. We didn't need it in the Super Bowl, but we're losing Josh Sweat. We need more of a rotation. We need more pass rushers. We need more people to get to the quarterback. And I can see Jalen Walker being a kind of like an edge guy. You just think he can play linebacker. I think he can play a little bit of edge. I do. I think we can move him like Vic Fangio likes to do. Yeah. And I think he could be a Swift Army knife.
Versatile.
I think he would play edge. He's going to play edge with the Eagles.
He's not straight up edge.
Yeah, he's going to be a little more of a. I'm not saying he's not going to play a little bit of linebacker because N'Kobe Dean's that's healthy. He might get some reps, but I see him as a edge rusher. Right. I do.
Okay, I mean, all right, there it is for the video, guys. So let us know in the comments below what you think. I know a lot of players slipped down the board that you probably thought shouldn't. Like Colson Loveland is pretty much chalk first rounder for a lot of teams. It's just the way the board fell. There's a lot of teams here that needed tight end, but it wasn't their biggest need. So sometimes it happens. I can already hear the clicking of people shitting on us for this
Eagles
one.
could have took him too. Love him.
But I honestly, looking back at it, I really don't hate the draft. I really don't. I think a lot of teams, most teams, if not all, got a position of need and one of the best players that was available there.
I think the craziest pick that people are going to see off this is there's 3. I could see James being at 7 to the Jets. I think people might have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I see 7 and 8. I think 7 and 8 is what people are going to say are weakest.
Yes.
I think Mike Green at 10 is fine.
I think it's a little high for him, but I could also see they do need edge. They absolutely do need edge.
They're not going to be the Falcons that push it off for 3 or 4 years. They're gonna take what they need at this moment, and Mike Green might be the 3rd best edge rusher in this class.
Might be. I think it's pretty.
I think it's Abdul, James, and then Mike Green. And if you think it falls off that hard, which we're not the Bears, they might. You get one pick.
What's your favorite pick of the draft so
far? Jack Sawyer to the Lions.
Jack Sawyer to the Lions. Because
I think that makes sense. I don't get why he's slipping. I can see Jack Sawyer living up and embracing the Motor City. I can just.
That's a great pick. Yeah, honestly, I really love that pick. I really didn't expect you to do it, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more I love it.
It makes sense, don't it?
I'm just talking about this, Omari and Hampton.
Yeah.
To the Vikings, that would be awesome. I do think they definitely need tackle help, especially considering they had Cam Robinson from the Jags as a rent-a-tackle for a little bit, and then he didn't even really work out that well after Christian Darrisaw went down.
I'd like to note Bengals and Eagles in this draft took both Georgia players. I'm just saying. You feel the vibe.
Bengals, Eagles, Super Bowl, please.
Yep, both. Even though Walker's not an edge, I definitely think we've done 2 edge rushers in this draft from Georgia too.
Hey man, I love my draft. Maybe one day we'll do a multi-rounder, maybe a 2-rounder next time we do this. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And we're going to be doing a lot more of these. This is our first video on the channel together, but we are going to do more than just football stuff. This is going to be kind of a variety channel. We're both massive football fans, as you can see, and we're both huge music fans and horror fans. I want to show this guy so many horror films that he's never seen, and vice versa. He's a big paranormal, supernatural guy. I'm a big slasher guy, and we're going to watch a lot of movies together on this channel. And there's a lot of new music coming out every single month. So just stick around, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, let us know what you thought in the comments. Let's have a little bit of discourse, have a little bit of debating down there. We'll see you in the next one. Later.